smart TVs like Samsung, LG, and more. Just go to your smart TV channel guide or download the free Newsmax app. Newsmax also streams free on Roku, Zumo, Pluto, Amazon Fire, or TiVo. And 7 million people have the Newsmax app on their smartphone. It takes seconds to download it on your phone, and there's no paywall or subscription. So watch Newsmax for breaking news, anytime, anywhere. President Trump says Newsmax is really good, and Forbes calls Newsmax a news powerhouse. Find out why tens of millions of Americans are watching Newsmax TV and going to Newsmax.com for breaking news. It's a source you can trust. Newsmax is real news for real people.
When it really counts.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. USDA's Ag Statistics Service has released the September crop estimate. A few changes. Production in peanuts now is expected to be 3,174,000 tons. That is down 4% from the previous forecast, but up 3% over last year. The acreage update were made several changes in that. The acreage is 1.58 million acres. That's down 3% from the last estimate and down 5% from last year. Peanuts should average about 4,141 pounds per acre. That is also down from last year, but the forecast is up 345 pounds per acre compared to last year. Alabama will average about 4,000 pounds, the same as last month. Georgia averaging 4,400 pounds per acre, same as last month. And Florida staying the same at 3,900 pounds per acre. But nationwide, the average yield will be 4,141 pounds on peanuts. Corn production is forecast at 15 billion bushels. That is up 2% from the previous forecast and up 6% from last year. The soybean production is estimated now at 4.37 billion bushels. That is up 1% from the previous forecast, up 6% from last year. The all cotton, 18.5 million 480-pound bales. That's up 7% from the previous forecast and also up 27% from last year.
The USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service has a program to reward and encourage environmental stewardship for ag and forestry producers. The Conservation Stewardship Program is voluntary. Applicants must be USDA operators. For more information on CSP, visit nrcs.usda.gov. Helping people help the land.
I'm Tyron Spearman for Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be mostly cloudy with a thunderstorm in parts of the area this afternoon. High today 88 to 90. Then becoming partly cloudy this evening. Low tonight 74 to 77. Tuesday will be mostly cloudy with a couple of thunderstorms in the afternoon. High tomorrow 87 to 90. Then mostly cloudy and humid Wednesday with a thunderstorm in the afternoon and a high of 85 to 89. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holdren.
Hi, I'm Dr. Manal Fakori, and I'm running for mayor to serve all of Ocala. Our beautiful city has the potential.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman.
Hi, I'm Dr. Manal Fakori, and I'm running for mayor to serve all of Ocala. Our beautiful city has the potential for tremendous growth, but years of politicizing our priorities is holding us back from becoming a first-class city. I'm running to bring a culture of common sense, decency, respect, love, trust, and prosperity to our city. I'm running with energy, experience, and grit. On September 21st, vote for One Ocala. Vote for Dr. Manal Fakori for mayor.
Hi, this is Jack O'Brien, and I could tell you stories. If you drew a circle on the map with Bellevue at the top and the bottom around Leesburg, inside that circle you'll find there are 67 churches, synagogues, cathedrals, or various houses of worship. And ironically, or coincidentally, just about the same number of golf courses. The bigger point is, if you live in the middle of that circle and you're looking for a church, you've got a lot to pick from. Charlie and Edna Brewer of the village of Citronella were on that quest. They'd begun to visit churches, and they were excited to see where God had set aside a pew just for them. So they determined that every Sunday they would visit a different church and see how it felt. And that might explain why Charlie and Edna ended up one Sunday morning sitting in a row of mismatched chairs in a large room where they hoped they would find a congregation of like-minded Christians. The inviting sign on the roadside read, "Almost Perfect," and when Edna saw it, she thought how beautiful. It's a tribute to God's creation of man and woman, made in his image, but stained with original sin. And the moment she saw those words, she said, "Charlie, turn here and head back to that parking lot." It was a beautiful sentiment that she imagined must draw a large following. There were hundreds of empty chairs, and no one but Edna and Charlie. It was 10 a.m. Maybe they were early. Didn't occur to her that she and her husband were sitting in the middle of a consignment furniture store on the only day of the week it's supposed to be closed. But just then, a man with a mop and one of those galvanized 5-gallon buckets on wheels came strolling around the corner. He walked over to the two of them, so they stood to greet him, as Christian brothers and sisters do. "Hey, folks, I'm sorry we're closed. I was just cleaning up and I left the door unlocked." "Well, that's okay," Charlie says. "We figured we were early." He extended his hand. "My name's Charlie. This is my wife, Edna." "Well, nice to meet you," says the janitor. "My name's Sheldon Waller." Edna says, "Well, tell me, Mr. Waller, what time does the service start?" Well, Sheldon thinks she means, "When can somebody come show me some furniture?" So he says, "Well, we're open tomorrow. We had a real bad leak in this roof when the storm hit on Wednesday, so I had to come in and do a little extra cleanup. So we'd be ready next week. But I'll tell you what, if you leave me your number, I'll get one of our greeters to call you this week and invite you to come back when we're ready." "How thoughtful," she said as she lifted her eyebrows. Anyway, on the way out, Edna noticed a price tag on a whitewashed brake front labeled Mission, $425. That seemed odd until it dawned on her that selling used furniture donated by parishioners was a terrific way to generate the wherewithal to do good things. This church was turning trash to treasure, and in her head, the Christian metaphors began to fall like leaves in a hurricane. Now, there may not have been an actual church service that morning, but as Edna left Almost Perfect, she felt the same excitement she'd experienced when she stood for the benediction after a 1-hour barn burner at the Church of the Holy Apostolic Journey over in Astatoula. About a minute later, something happened that pretty much assured Charlie and Edna will not be back any Sunday in the near future. As Charlie backed up and turned to leave, Edna noticed for the first time that below the words "Almost Perfect," the sign read, "Home Decor."
Like what you've just heard? I Could Tell You Stories with Jack O'Brien is brought to you by Brick City Digital. Hi, I'm Michael Warren, and at Brick City Digital Marketing, we believe every business has a great story to tell. Our job is to help your business tell your story in a way that brings more customers to your door. We help small businesses just like yours with web design, social media, SEO, video, and more. Visit us online at brickcity.com or call 352-351-1131 for a free consultation.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 on a Monday, a very, very clear and sunny Monday. I'm looking here. The visibility is far-reaching here at the airport as we come to you from the studios of WOCA Radio, just off the runway at the Ocala International Airport. I want to give you a couple of things that you can do coming up. Classic Car Show, September 18th. That's this weekend. Fort King Daylight Lodge, number 389. That's on Northeast 7th Street here in Ocala. There is a $10 in advance entry fee for your cars, or a $15 entry fee day of the event. They're going to give out first, second, and third place trophies. Best in show. There'll be food, entertainment, 50-50 drawing. Event time is from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. All proceeds go to support youth organizations. So come out and enjoy the day. Classic Car Show, September 18th. Fort King Daylight Lodge, number 389. If you want more information, contact Mike Rice at 336-413-3316 or Alan Rhodes at 352-207-9064. It is a classic car show, September 18th. All proceeds to support youth organizations here in Marion County. So, go out and see it. I will tell you this, the Ocala Civic Theater from now through September 19th It has on stage at the Ocala Civic Theater Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. If you have not seen this play, this musical, I give it 5 stars. It's worth the price of admission, $30. It's a fantastic play. Charming con artist Lawrence and Freddie make a deal. First to swindle a certain heiress out of her fortune wins, and the other must leave the south of France. As you all know, this musical is based on the movie with Steve Martin and Michael Caine. But as the line does suggest, the title suggests, there is a little of the scoundrelness in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. So there's going to be, when dealing with people like this, there's going to be some adult humor, mild language, and sexual innuendo. This is, after all, a delightful romp along the Riviera, and you know how the French are. Adults, $30, ages 18 and younger, $15. I highly recommend Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. My wife and I went and saw this play, the musical, the second day it was on stage, and it was quite the event. It was very funny, very amusing. There is an intermission. It's about 3 hours long, but it doesn't feel like it's that long because it's just hilarity from beginning to end. So if you haven't checked it out yet, go to the Ocala Civic Theater and watch Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. You know, a good year for the Ocala Civic Theater, too, this year. Not only that, they're going to do It's a Wonderful Life at Christmas, the Frank Capra movie with Jimmy Stewart and Donna Reed will be on stage as a play, as a musical for Christmas at the Ocala Civic Theater. And then they have 6 programs, and the last one will be Beauty and the Beast in the springtime. Disney's Beauty and the Beast. So looking forward to all of those events at the Ocala Civic Theater. But right now, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. If you've not seen Dirty Rotten Scoundrels at the Ocala Civic Theater, I promise you, you will do yourself a good deed by going to watch it. It is quite the funny musical. They do a great job at it. And, you know, it's one of these gyms we got, the Ocala Civic Theater, then, of course, the museum right next door. You know, people, you forget how great we have opportunities to do great things in our town. That people, I go to the museum, sometimes there's 5 people in the museum. 5. They had free Saturdays. 1 month this year, they had free Saturdays. You'd go on to free Saturdays, there'd be 5 people in the building. Sometimes we don't use the gyms we have right out our back door. My sister is coming into town from Minnesota. It's the first time she's been home probably in 8-9 years. But the first time she's been to Ocala since 1973. She's coming to my home. We're going to have dinner with my younger sister, my older sister, who's coming in from Minnesota. One of the things she wanted to do was, as a family, we used to vacation every year at the Holiday Inn right across the entrance from Silver Springs. She saw that Silver Springs had made the news up in Minnesota that the handicap-accessible boats, glass-bottom boats, were now available at Silver Springs. She goes, they still have the glass-bottom boats at Silver Springs? I go, of course they do. One of the only things she wants to do, she wants to go pay to get on the glass-bottom boat so she can remember her childhood. And sometimes we take those things for granted because they're right in our backyard. But here's a family member of mine coming from Minnesota, hasn't been to Ocala since the early 70s. And the one thing she's looking forward to is going to Silver Springs and seeing the glass-bottom boats. Sometimes we don't think about the gyms we have right in our backyard. The Ocala Civic Theater is one of those gyms. I implore you, go out and see a show at the Ocala Civic Theater. We'll be right back after this timeout. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Hello, I'm Mark Sears with Regency Printing. With over 10 years in the printing business, I knew